Boom, hey internets. This is gonna be a big topic for brands that wanna get into retail or consider retail right now, as around the time that you're watching this, and this is post dated. And so a lot of this is coming way back. This is almost a full circle moment, right? You guys know, if you're subscribed to the channel, I've been working in apparel since 2000. And so what I would call working for more traditional brands, where I was in-house and we have, you know, a production department, art department, where I would be leading, you know, a whole staff of people. I've been doing more videos where I talk about being a solopreneur. So a lot of the brands that I'm consulting with that are making anywhere from 5,000 a month or doing millions in a year, a lot of them are pretty damn close to being a solopreneur. So that changes a lot of things, right? It changes the way you kind of run your business and how you, and the possibility as well. Let me say this, I am a fan of retail, even though, like, I've heard people say like, oh, you focus so much in e-commerce, which is true, right? You want a quick start, I still think you should get a cash drop link. You could be up in 10 minutes. I also talk about proof of concept, where we're trying to see, should we put more money, time, and effort into this venture of a brand if we don't see results, right? So that's all a thing that I talk about here. But within that, if you know you have a solid foundation and you want to sell in retail, there's money there. There is huge advantages to selling to a Tilly's, to a Zumiez, to a Macy's or Nordstrom's, right? I mean, you get a schedule implemented of when buys are happening. Also, you get the benefit of doing mass production, so that gets you a close tie with your vendor where you have more latitude with them, right? So you can produce more things easily without too much friction. Also, the more you do, the more your vendors are gonna love you because they're giving you more business. But besides that, your unit cost is gonna go lower, right? If you make 1,000 of something versus making 100 of them, your vendor's gonna give you a better price because you're giving them more business. And so if you have the capacity to sell 1,000, you're gonna then make more money because you're keeping more of your margin. Also, letting people come and touch and feel the fabric. Also, you seeing your brand. There's something about seeing your brand inside of retail, which is an indescribable feeling. No matter what city you're in, you can say, hey, you can see my stuff at a location near you at this retail. So 3 pieces of advice. I want to watch this all the way through to get all 3 of them. But the first one is have a tight operation. And that sounds super basic, but you would be surprised. Also, if I harken back to any videos about anyone that has failed or having a hard time, there are so many baselines in apparel that people don't know about in terms of logistically planning and running and operating your business with a process, because it is a business, right? While design can be off the cuff a bit, or a hunch or a feeling, you're dealing with colors and fabrics and, oh, I could just outdo whatever brands that you love at the moment. The business part of it needs to have logistics and a process. So make sure you have good vendors that can deliver if you get the green light from a retail, right? Make sure you have an organized structure where if you let that in, the opportunity to make more money from a mass, you can facilitate that in whatever your business structure is. So have a tight operation, and that's a separate video on itself. I mean, we're talking about marketing, right? And social media, which bleeds right into budgeting and sales, presence, all of that stuff, all right? You wanna have things going for your company, both offensive and defensive when it comes to business. Second thing I wanna say, a lot of companies don't know what Brand Boom is, so they're not sponsoring this. I wish they were. Brand Boom, holla at your boy. I speak to your demographic. I'm speaking to them now. But guys, go on Brand Boom, go look them up right now and see what they do. It's basically a digital showroom for how you show specifically what styles you're offering for that season or that buy for the buyer of the retail. They're gonna say, send me the Brand Boom link, okay? And if you're like, I don't know what the hell that is, that can be problematic. Guys, all of these things, all of the 3 things I'm gonna tell you right now is so that you make a good impression for the beginning of your relationship, hopefully, with this retailer. You're only gonna get one chance to make a first impression. Make sure it's a good impression. Make sure you do your due diligence. Tight operation, get a Brand Boom link together so they can see specifically what you're offering, because they're gonna say, send me the Brand Boom link. And hopefully you hear them say, cool, you know what? We like your vibe. We've heard about you guys before. You guys are making some noise. Let's do a test buy. A test buy means they're gonna buy some of that season as a test in some of their doors. So if they have 100 doors, they might say, hey, we're gonna test you in 20 doors of some of our strongest markets, all right? To see how you do. Now, if you get that, the third thing I want to tell you guys for some insight into dealing with retail is timelines. Timelines have changed dramatically from when I was in-house with a brand last, right? Many companies will develop a year in advance, right? So for example, Vans can do that because Vans has their own flagship shops. Vans sells in Vans shops. They don't carry other brands. They might do collabs, they might do licenses, but they're selling Vans apparel and Vans footwear in their shops. Now, to keep up with trends and the type of product that they're selling, they can design a year in advance, and they have a huge staff. They have that whole building off of the 5 that you can see if you're here in Orange County or driving through California, which I've been to. You should check out that video where I visited the headquarters. Shout out to Vans, all my people there, as an example. But other places, if you're selling to Zumiez or Tilly's, they're gonna have different timelines, and they're shorter now because the average buyer, like think of when you shop, you want it now. Right? So because of that, the buyer is, entitled more to their timelines. Also, shipping is very quick because of Amazon, blame Jeff Bezos, but we're all working on that standard. But printables and blanks could be like a 3-week timeline from the day they order, all right? So be able to handle that. If you're one of my guys on the channel who are doing like mom and pop, like home production, you better get some vendors on board that you're ready to outsource to, all right? Cut and sew. I've heard of the buy being as soon as 4 months, 4 to 6 months. But 4 months would have been unheard of in the early 2000s. So if you need your cut and sew in their distribution facility in 4 months, you better have your production set, and then you should budget in time for any kind of mistakes or any kind of delays, which will happen. So this actually brings me full circle back to number 1, which is have a tight operation. Tight operation, brand boom link, on point. Timelines are gonna be different with each retail. That has to do with organization and production. Hope that helps. Like this video. I just dropped a ton of gems for you guys. You have personal questions about your brand, you can drop them below, or you can text me at the number in the description. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. All right, bye.